Welcome back to the Culture of Currency. You gave me questions and I have answers. So we're going to get to that in a second. Just a reminder, if you like storage solutions for your silver, go to safepub.com, put in Culture 1 and check out and save you some cheddar on their selection of amazing products. But we have some questions to get to. Many of you commented questions about me, the channel, all that kind of stuff, and that's what this video is about. Maybe you'll learn something about silver, maybe you'll learn something about me, maybe both. I don't know, but we can go ahead and take a look at the questions you had. I have them pulled aside here, so let's go ahead and take a look. All right, Southside Frankie. Wow, firstly, those dollar coins look absolutely lovely. Thank you, Frankie. And I'm not kidding. Dark, old, natural tone and full of silver. I would have to keep those. I also like looking up old photos of my town to correspond to the dates. If you're a culture vulture, sometimes the signage can be showing you how much goods used to cost, and then you can look up the inflation calculator. That's pretty cool. So maybe finding a catalog from, I don't know, 1888 in your area and knowing how much basically you could buy. That's pretty cool. Well, there could be loads of questions. Perhaps, what is your reason for buying bullion coins? Great question. So for me, buying bullion coins, let me go here to, let's go back to this. When I'm buying bullion coins, like let's say this from St. Helena, I am able to look into the culture, the history, the relevance of a nation, as well as buy silver at the same time. Years ago, I decided to start this channel with $100 at a time to prove that anybody could do it, and understanding that there's more to silver than just silver. So we do have bars like this that are generic, that, you know, they might be pretty, they might be collectible to some, but they don't go much further than that. Whereas these tell the stories of our world. They're collectible as well, and they will hold value. So as far as a hobby goes, it's really hard to beat because it's going to hold value. It's going to tell stories. It's something that you can share with your children and grandchildren, not just from a preservation of wealth perspective, but also a perspective of conversations, of learning about the world. So that's kind of where we are on that. Thank you, Frankie. Go to the next one. I would love that silver cube. If you would like to part ways with that, please let me know. Love the channel. So the silver cube is a Jaeger cube. I don't have it here in front of me right now, but that is one that I believe has been reserved by one of our channel viewers. We're having a sale in December of most of my generic silver that I bought this year for my generic versus premium challenge, and so that is one that I believe has been reserved. And if it's not been reserved, then it will be on my hobbysilver.com website in December for sale. So look there. I'll hopefully check my list shortly and see if it has been reserved or not, but my gut tells me it has been. All right, Philatelist Magazine. Do the giveaways happen at a certain time of the month, or are they sort of sporadic? They do happen at a certain time of the month. So basically at the end of the month, I like to look at what YouTube has paid me and then get 10% of what that number is back to the viewers. And occasionally we have more giveaways by Longhorn Gold and Silver or other people that just support the channel that want to help us grow. So usually it's going to be around the end of the month. Sometimes I'm late to the game, so it's the very beginning of the next month, but it's usually within 5 days or so of the end of the month. Absolutely. Eli QR9HC, in your opinion, in a short-term emergency where you need to catch some silver, which is why you would cash out either generic rounds or American Silver Eagles, Maples, thank you. Is it a question or more of a statement? In a short-term emergency where you need to cash out some silver, which and why? Okay, there you go. Which and why would you cash out? I would definitely go with the generic if it's a short-term emergency because, well, it depends. So sometimes, on occasions, American Silver Eagles will bring you more money. So let's say if I had 500 ounces of generic or 500 ounces of American Silver Eagles, and people are buying Silver Eagles for $3 over spot, I'm selling the Eagles. If they are, you know, within $1, I'm probably going the generic rounds. on that, just because, the government backing of American Silver Eagles. There's theories that say that would be better in time of crisis. I don't think we're going to be in time of crisis, so that's not something I have to worry about. But that being said, that is kind of what I would do. Hopefully there's not a situation that persists where I'm in that environment, but it's possible. And I would say generic most likely would be out the door first, just because the American Silver Eagles tend to be a bit more expensive. Jay Miller says, I have a similar method and strategy. Glad to see other people doing it as well. Well, thank you, Jay. Not a question, but that's a good comment. Mad Hacker, from a pure stacking strategy, the experts say to stay away from semi-numismatic, but in my opinion, it's your money and your silver, so stack it what you like. I agree. I love world coins and semi way more than generic. So he's talking about the numismatic, the bars, etc. It's my favorite part of stacking. You are the only person putting out videos like this. Keep up the good work. Well, thank you, Mad Hacker. It's interesting. So I'm not one that considers much of the silver that I'm collecting as a investment token. I'm doing it as a hobby. I understand that a big portion of the community does. It's just not what I do. I have other investments that grow and compound, and everything that I do in silver, it's multifaceted. Yes, it will help me in the event that the world shuts down, that you can't access your money, whatever. It is there in case that happens. But my strategy, I would say, for stacking is to provide hope to you. So it's going to be $100 a month regardless. And if I can tell some stories about the world and make you see each other more of equal creations rather than just some nation on the map, then I think I'm doing a net good. So that's kind of what I do. I wouldn't say I'm doing anything for an investment, more of just fun and hobby and bring joy and that type of thing. Over time, I will have enough where you can say it's a portion of my quote unquote portfolio, but that's not necessarily the objective. It's just a awesome side dish to the main course. Thank you. Tracy, have you had to sell back silver to get money for a bill? Was that your thought, or expecting selling back for the green? Not necessarily. I have brokered some deals for people, 15,000-ish in silver. I haven't been in a situation of destitute where I have had to sell off silver to pay for things, though on many occasions my wife sees the value of what we have and says, hey, why don't you just knock off some of that and we can go do this? Or, hey, you had a kidney stone bill coming in, why don't you just knock off some silver and dish that out. So there's been conversations, but I've never been in a moment of destitute where I have to, act in that manner. And that's mostly because before I even got into silver, I wanted to make sure I was debt-free, our family was debt-free, so that we were not in a situation where silver became a burden, and that type of thing. So I recommend everybody be debt-free and then look at options like this, in different ways. In fact, there's an old video I did. Dave Ramsey, who we know doesn't really like gold or silver, but he is very, very good with getting you on your feet financially. And I found a way how to follow Dave Ramsey and stack gold or silver. So that being said, it's kind of what I've done. Thank you so much, Tracy. Keith, I've seen someone have a silver surfer. How does someone get one of those? Been jealous. That's probably somebody who's done a pour. So what they tend to do is have a item, maybe it's a plastic silver surfer, and they tamp it down into the clay mold. It's kind of like a sand clay type thing. They tap it down into that. They pour liquid silver into it. It hardens, and then they have, a little silver surfer. I'm not talented enough to do that. I know people that are. There's community members, some that I follow, that are. Or are getting at least to that point. And so that's probably a pour that they either bought from somebody in the community or one that they did themselves. But I have no knowledge of somebody who has one on hand, but I'll be looking out for one. And if I see one, I'll have to find you and let you know. All right. Emilian says, good video. Well, thank you. Woodford Jackson 455. Hey, been loving your comparison of steady stacking versus generic governments. Would love to see Libertads in the 3K giveaway. that's a fantastic thing to give away. Those are very expensive. I currently only have one Libertad. I do have some other Mexican pieces, and maybe I can put those in there. I think they're 80% silver, maybe 90%. But I have some that are pretty cool. Maybe I can put one of those in there. But I only have one Libertad at the moment. So if APMEX wants to give me a Libertad, great. My guess is they probably won't, but you never know. Vicky Pitts just says, I'm a fan. Well, thank you, Vicky. She's also a channel member. Notice the little crab by her name. Broke Stacker asks, what caused you to start stacking real money? Was it the turning point? Also, what was your first precious metal purchase? All right, so Broke, when I started stacking silver, just like I mentioned before, it was really getting out of debt around COVID and looking for just something to do that would be fun. And so we just decided $100 a month and that type of thing would get into silver. So that was it. It wasn't really, if I've had it or anything like that with regular cash or anything like that, though I am a very big proponent of having money in your pocket. But what was the first precious metal I purchased? It would be a silver puffin coin from the Isle of Alderney. You can go back and watch the video. It's the first video I think I put on YouTube, actually. So that would be my first piece of metal I purchased, though I had silver that was passed down from my grandmother, which kind of kicked off everything. All right. Raz just won a stuff from our giveaway. Let's see what he says. I'm here for World Bullion and your description of them mostly. Yes, every single time I post a video on a World Bullion coin, I always see him out there commenting. So congratulations on your recent win on our channel, but also thank you for being such a loyal supporter. Expat Gringo. The tortoise beat the hare and culture of currency proved that $100 a month can make you a winner too. I know you've done some comparison videos in the past, but I don't remember. If you did one that specifically covered how much your $100 a month would be worth in a savings account versus how much your collection is worth, I'm willing to guess your collection is probably worth at least 40% more than if you had simply put $100 in the bank. When you consider inflation, $100 in the bank for 2 years probably has lost at least 5% in buying power. Also, you paid more for your coins than someone who exclusively buys generic. When's the last time you pulled out your charts to show how you've done a comparison? I know that having your collection increase in value isn't your number one goal, but when you show the difference, it inspires people of modest means to start or keep stacking. Thanks, my friend. That's a very, very great observation. I don't think I've done that in a very long time. I do have charts on what my at least my premium stuff is worth. So I could do that and kind of see based on what the trends are now within banks. But it's been probably 2 years since I've done a video like that. So Gringo, I'm going to have to revisit that. That's a very, very good topic and one that I think people would like to see. So I will try to put that in my list of videos to do. All right, Carrie and Terry, who have also won, I believe they won it was years ago. I believe they won a Somali elephant ounce from me. What is the difference between generic silver and one that's with serial numbers? That's a great question. So, for example, right here is a national bar. It is serialized. Here is a Engelhard bar, serialized. They're still generic, Terry Kellogg. They're still generic, but the serial is going to be identifiable that you can look up. It helps validate the purity. If you were a buyer and you saw a serial number, it's just one of those visual markers that you're looking for that says, okay, this is truly an Engelhard. But it also can give you a lot of factors such as when was it minted, where was it minted, little things like that. There are websites out there that can help track it. They're still technically generic, but the serial number is just something that some companies did that were known for large production of silver so that they could track which maybe manufacturing plant, which part of the run, if there's an issue with the minting process, it really does help identify. If they have, a PK21573 and they say that one was bad, then they can look, for their stamp products in that particular series to see if it was a running issue or not. James Reel just says nice. Love it, James. Thank you for always being a supporter. Seeing Red, channel member, love seeing that crab. After watching so many of your videos, I now realize that my silver purchases have moved away from generic to world bullion. It's simply much more interesting. I agree 100%. Seeing Red, it is more interesting, and it's still silver, so you're winning either way. Obviously, our generic silver versus premium silver comparison videos are showing you the numbers behind that choice being not necessarily a bad one, though it does put more work on your plate if you are in the position to sell. So, but that is what I have for you today. I hope you've enjoyed listening to these questions. I hope that in all things that you're enjoying what we're doing here. And as always, please remember to stay classy and current with the culture of currency.